Good evening, race fans. We are back at it for the All-Star Racing Series, the Premier Setup Shop Racing Series, or Premier Racing Setup Shop Racing Series. We'll get it right eventually, I promise you. Joined here tonight by a newbie when it comes to being in the booth, Mr. Kyle, the Wild Man Wellman. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing good. I cannot complain. Super excited about tonight. We actually just was at this track last night. Let's get our countdown to green counter ticking away. As you see there, we have roughly 20 minutes before these drivers will hit qualifying. So if you are a viewer in the future and you don't want to listen to us talk about tonight's race or whatnot, fast forward 20 minutes and you'll have it right at the green flag. But Kyle, to answer your question, I'm stoked for tonight, man. These guys, they've put on one hell of a show. The last 2 weeks I've been here, our own USAFirearms.com's very own Brian Zimmerman got the race win last week at Nashville Fairgrounds, So he's going to try to go back to back at a track like Five Flags that he loves. But Kyle, as you know, you're looking at the lap times right now. There's a lot of fast competition out here. Rob Hattenbach sitting third, Brandon Elvis second, Christopher Smith first on the practice chart. A lot of speed out here.
Yeah, they're going pretty fast out there right now, but track's starting to get a little slick for them. A lot of drivers are having trouble with grip on entry and grip on exit. Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the big key things to look at tonight.
Well, you spoke of it. Let's get rid of this really quick while Powell going. And let's pull up the keys to tonight's race. So, Kyle, you can't see these, but just work with me here. Keys to victory, number one, as always. We're short track racing. Track position is king. But, you know what they say, to finish first you must finish. Well, caveat that is, to finish first, well, you need to be up there in the mix because track position is king. Super tough to pass these short tracks, but you better get to it and do it tonight, especially if you botch a qualifying effort. You're putting yourself behind the eight ball. Keeping your tires balanced is number two. And now you might think, Tanner, what's that mean? Well, it's simple. Once I explain it to you. Right front, right rear. You don't want those tires. You don't want the right rear to be super hot, right front to be kind of cool. Because what's that mean? It means the truck's really only working one tire on the entire truck. You want to try to keep those balanced. That way the truck's not loose if it's the right rear, tight if it's the right front. So you got to really protect those tires. And while we're speaking about tires, keys to victory number three. 2 tires change. Is it worth it? We saw the super late models last night. Cricket Line Racing Super Late Models, 2 tires. It was king. 2 tires has been king for a little bit here on iRacing. Going to see if they can do it tonight at Five Flags with the trucks. And then point number 4, keys to victory, is adjusting to the track change. The Wild Man, Wellman, he just told us that this track is changing every lap they do, especially going to be changing very, very rapidly here in a little bit. Because you can see that sun's starting to set in Pensacola, Florida. So this track's going to start getting cooler. It will provide a little bit more grip, but the speeds will be a little quicker when this track and air temp cools down. So that's when the going gets tough for some of these drivers. So got to be careful. Fuel run about 70, 75 laps, and you got a race length of 125 laps. All right, Wellman, I'm off my soapbox. Keys to victory. What's your biggest key to victory, brother?
Just keeping up with the track is going to be the biggest one, I think. Crazy thing about this track is the race is going to start in the sunlight, so track's going to be really hot. And like you said, when it cools down, you're going to get more grip. But by the time it cools down, these boys have already worn their tires out. And they're going to be looking for that false sense of hope. And they're just going to be digging all the way around here.
And I don't have the graphics saved right now because I'm, quite frankly, a moron, I guess. I just forgot to do it. But let's go to the point standings really quick. We'll save that. Bear with me here. I promise you, we try to stay somewhat professional here. But, man, oh, man, we had a long day. And sidebar here, for anybody that isn't aware, my fiance, her dad, just got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So she's kind of going through colon cancer, and it's tough trying to be the support system. So I did get home late. That's no excuse. Should have the stuff ready. But moral story is, please keep my fiance and her family in thoughts and prayers. Got 3 sisters, grandkids. They all love their grandpa, right? And just got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. It's no joke. No joke, but I know he's tough enough. I know he can beat it. But we got the point standings pulled up here. There's only one race left after tonight, folks. Daniel Sweat comes into tonight's event as the points leader with 140 points. Brian Voss is second with 138. Justin Coleman's 135. Brandon Elvis 133, and Chris Smith sitting fifth with 129. So from first to fifth, Wellman, you're looking at 11 laps, or 11 points, excuse me. So that is huge, especially when you got one race left.
Yeah, it's a tight points battle out there, and I wouldn't even put it past sixth place back there, Robert Hottenbach. He's third fastest tonight. He can go up there and steal some points from some guys.
Hey, I've watched Rob too these past 2 weeks. He's very, very quiet. Don't get himself in a lot of trouble. Usually keeps the nose of that truck fairly clean. And at a track like Five Flags, so let's just be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. This truck looks to be a little loose out here tonight. They're slipping and sliding. We've seen a few self-spins, quite a few self-spins, even from drivers you wouldn't even expect it from. That shows this truck's on edge. So if Hottenbach, if he can just keep that nose clean, keep 4 tires facing forward, he's going to be bound and determined to take a good finish, and also maybe leap a few spots in the point standings as we head into the final race of the season next week, which is also brought to you live by TrueSimProductions. But I told him I was going to bring him up. He was last week's winner. I'm sure people are going to say this is biased, but I know he is never afraid of the booth. He's always one to come up in here. He'll give us any secret that I ask him because he's just a good dude. And he don't really take it to heart. Where a lot of guys who bring him up here and they will not give a whole lot of secrets. Without any further ado, Mr. Brian Zimmerman, do you have a copy?
I got you, bud. How you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. So before you get that number 28 Davey Allison replica machine rolled out, talk to us about the track tonight, what you're feeling, and what's your expectations going into tonight. Currently sitting 9th on the speed chart during practice.
Yeah, I'm feeling like I'm struggling a little bit on speed. Kind of new to this truck, trying to still feel it out. These guys have a lot better feel for it than I do right now. Track's really slick off. We're gonna have to really be easy on that throttle tonight. Seeing a lot of people spinning off the corners, off of 4 and off of 2. So it's going to be a lot of throttle control tonight, keeping those rear wheels under us. I think it's going to be a tire strategy tonight. Somebody that's got fresh tires at the end could actually win this race, no matter how far off the pace they are. If somebody was to, not take tires and we get a late caution, they'll be the favorite to win.
Absolutely. I mean, we touched on it off air whenever I was just kind of watching you, just trying to see what to expect tonight. Right as a broadcaster, I was like, man, the tire fall off here is massive. We're talking 10, 15 laps versus somebody that's only 2 or 3 laps in. Half a second almost, it seems. So fall off will be crucial tonight. Who's going to hold that one set of tires? Remember, it's all you get, one. Who's going to hold out the longest and put those precious 4 Mr. Feelgoods or 2 Mr. Feelgoods on the truck? That's going to be something to see. As Mr. Zimmerman, he is going to give us a few laps around Five Flags. I'm going to lay out here, Zimmy, and you just kind of describe what you're feeling here as you take the first lap.
All right, well, first thing on these trucks, when you come out, you got some cold tires, so you really got to be easy on that throttle, especially coming out of 4 here. Coming to the flag, I'm not full throttle to just about get to the line, and you want to dip down, hold this white line, and then drift the truck out to the outside, keeping those rear tires behind you. Hard on the brakes here, try to get down to the bottom. Easing on the throttle to get the truck to rotate, and then rotate her out to the outside wall. And then ride back down into 1, try to get down to that white line.
With the way you're working the throttle and the brakes, Zim, sorry to interrupt you, but there's not a whole lot of time in between. Does not seem like the truck's really rolling that long. Is it a whole lot of brake input going? It looks like your foot's really having to work out here.
Yeah, you're having to work both pedals pretty hard. Like right now, we're dragging that pedal. Now we're back. Now we're full throttle, but we're almost all the way out to the wall before I'm going out full throttle there.
And folks, you hear it here. We can hear it. Listen, full throttle is not there very long. So you got to get there in order to be fast, but you can't stay there very long because you have a corner coming up. So, Zim, appreciate you for jumping out here with us, letting us ride on board with you in that Davey Allison replica machine that Chris Carroll painted you. As always, see if we can get an outward look of that truck really quick as you're pulling it down pit road here. But a good-looking paint scheme by Dutchie's Designs, as always. Zimmy, good luck to you. Going to see if you can go back-to-back tonight, brother.
Thanks, bud. We appreciate it. Main thing, we just don't want to cause any trouble in the league. We're new to this league. Definitely don't want to. We got points battle going on right now, so definitely don't want to mess with anybody that's running for a championship. But we'll give it a shot tonight. Try to stay clean, stay out of everybody's way, and if we got a shot at it, we'll definitely try to take it.
Right on, buddy. We'll give them hell. Good luck.
Thank you, buddy.
Alrighty, Mr. Wellman. I feel like I'm in here by myself, Wellman. Don't be afraid to speak up. If you ever talk over me, you're fine. Get up in here, get dirty. Let's talk about it. As I'm going to let you interview Mr. Daniel Sweat because he is currently coming in a scoring leader. But like we said, you're only seeing a few points between him and all the way back from first all the way back to sixth. So, Wellman, you got Daniel up in the booth. Hopefully, he's at his racing rig. The floor is yours, Wellman.
Hey, Daniel, you got a copy?
What's going on, fellas?
Well, not much. How about you? Looking fast out there tonight.
Man, I'm fighting it right now. I'm trying to figure. I got in practice a little bit late, so I'm trying to figure out. Oh, they're telling me to pull off track. Let me pull off track real quick. I'm trying to figure it out, man. This thing is a handful for me personally tonight. I'm not very good at 5 flags, but we're gonna do the best we can. Try to salvage a good points night out of it.
Well, Daniel, I'm gonna barge in. It sounds like y'all probably got a driver's meeting or something you gotta attend to. So I'm sorry we pulled you at a bad time. I apologize for that.
That's okay.
We'll wish you good luck, brother, in that 07 machine. Looking really, really nice. I'm sure that's a Justin Coleman special. Looks very, very good. Good luck to you tonight, buddy. Points leader, 5 flags.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, boss. As well, I'm gonna ask you a question. You're some. Oh, that's the wrong channel for him. You're somebody that you've done a lot of league races. You point race. You're doing it with me on Sunday nights, right? Even when we may not be racing for the top, like Daniel Sweat is out here tonight, or other drivers, we still want to maximize our points. How much anxiety does the 07 machine have coming in as a points leader, but hey, it's only by 2 points?
Oh man, he's got to be feeling it before the race, during the race, and even after the race. With only 1 week left after tonight, it's 2 points. That's 1 spot, if that. And if he makes one slip up anytime during the race and loses a spot, that I could put him back in second, third, maybe even fourth, depending where everyone else finishes.
Right. I mean, it's just one mistake is all it takes. One mistake. You got to be flawless to win a championship because the talent is out there where other people won't make very many mistakes. So you cannot make mistakes. If you do make a mistake, you got to try to minimize it, especially at a track like this. This track, now bear with me, folks. I know it's going to have a Crooked Line logo. I'd search forever, Brandon Elvis, just so you watch this back and listen. For a good hour, I tried to find where this logo was at in STK. Could not find it. So it's still Crooked Line Racing, but just disregard that. 78-degree air temp, 84-degree track temp. So, well, man, it was 83 degrees all practice. Actually getting a little hotter, which is surprising. Sun setting. But look at the track length. 0.48 of a mile. We'll say half a mile. Not a whole lot of time in between corners at a track like this.
Yeah, not a lot of time. And also looking at that map, if you really look at it, you'll notice that turn 1 is tighter than turn 2, so entry is going to be a lot harder. And then turn 3 and 4 are tighter than 1 and 2 combined, so they're going to be different throttle points, different braking points. It's going to be a tough track all night long for everybody.
It feels like that turn 2 wall can reach out and grab you, and it feels like that turn 4 wall does reach out and grab you, right? So you got to be careful. Protect the right side of these trucks. But you brought up a hell of a point there. Looking at this track map, I always thought this track was symmetrical. I ran this track 1,000. I can't tell you how many laps I ran at 5 flags. This track is not the same on both sides. I see that now. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the type of track that really makes the drivers work for it. You don't want them to be turning the same amount and braking the same amount all the way around the track. That gets boring. You want these boys to work for it every second.
That may explain why I normally run terrible here. I think we're starting to put all the pieces together. Well, folks, thank y'all, as always, for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up button. Helps us out a ton here at TrueSimProductions. Got big podcast news dropping. Hoping to have it dropping by the Blazing Pedals race. Maybe drop it during Track Talk. But just know a big announcement coming from the podcasting side. Race Chatter, going to be on Saturday nights. Big announcement coming soon. I wish I could say more, but I got to leave it at that. I really wish I could say more, because I already have a graphic made and everything. I could throw it up, but it's huge. Very big. Super excited to get that rolling, as it does look like the drivers are going to the drivers meeting. So while they do that, we're going to jump over to the National Anthem and maybe pay a few bills. We'll be back momentarily. You won't miss a second of action. As soon as qualifying starts, we'll be back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is almost back go time as these drivers are finishing up, tidying up the drivers meeting. Got about 2 minutes before we hit in the qual. Let's throw it over the Southern Shores and we'll be back momentarily.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Put the power.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. No more interruptions. It's time to get to it. Last thing to do is to do it. About to go into qualifying. I'm a poet. You didn't even know it, did you, Wilmer?
Oh, I've heard you do a couple rhymes here and there, but I try not to acknowledge it and give you a bigger head than you already have.
Oh, you love to see it. Let's head on over to the Bad Company Racing qualifying portion of tonight's event. Mind you, this race's name, Bad Company is Good Company, 125 at 5 flags. It's a tongue twister, I get it, but it's a patented saying that I started because them Bad Company guys, they are bad fast. As it looks like Brandon Fillmore is going to be the first guy to elect to take his Chevy Silverado out on track. Number 5 coming to his first lap here, I do believe.
Yep, taking lap 1 right here, going into turn 1. Not quite as low as you'd expect him to be, but maybe just getting some heat in those tires for the second lap to see if he can run faster on the second turn.
Good point there, because we're kind of flying blind up here. We don't know if that first. Oh.
A little squirrely.
And that's a terrible spot to get squirrely. That's actually going to hurt his second lap too. Really high there. But is the first lap? Go ahead.
He's still sideways. I don't think he's going to get it here, but still a decent first lap with a 16.931.
Riding here with Mr. Second Place in the points, Brian Voss went top of the board with his first lap, coming out of turn number 4 for the second time. He's going to, 300ths off from his fastest lap. So maybe the first lap is the money lap. Look at Chris Sawyer go up. Well, I was going to say P2 on the board, and Mark Stewart had to run that one. But Mark Stewart holding down P2. But Brian Voss, second place in the points, holding down provisional pole. But mama, here comes the bad man, the points leader, the sweat machine. What can he do here? Coming to lap number 1, trying to get that high side momentum here, Wellman.
Yeah, that's a trick I like to use, and a lot of guys have really started using it these past couple of years, is just on your out lap, take the high side of 3 and 4 and just cut her down to the apex and get a really big run going into turn 1.
Get that speed up, get the momentum and the RPMs up, especially in these trucks. I call them gutless, but they have a lot of power. They have more power than what you think. But if you do little tricks like that, it's, Daniel Sweat showing P9 on the board. May have missed the mark a little bit on qualifying. Todd Lamphere goes second, and there he is. Brandon Elvis just took provisional pole as he's wrecking on his second lap. 0 to 0, but still holding provisional pole is number 54.
Yeah, Daniel Sweat actually didn't run his second lap. He called it quits after his first one, so maybe he messed up the exit of turn 4.
Oh, you're probably right. As I'm trying to look the multiple screens here, so yeah, good catch.
Here comes the man. He's on fire this past week in that Davey Allison paint scheme. He's won 5 out of 6 races this week, so be sure to watch him. He's going to try and steal a win here tonight.
He has not sounded confident talking to him off air. He feels like he's off the pace. I've told him just as a buddy, not a broadcast. I was like, dude, you'll figure it out. You always do when you get out there. As his first lap around, got him slotted in P8. Not many drivers have gotten faster on their second lap, as Dalton Creech is also coming out for his lap. I want to switch it over. I want Zimmy to finish this lap. Come on, they're going to time it almost perfect for me, it looks like. So Zimmy's over. Dalton Creech is coming for lap number 1. Zimmerman goes P3.
Zimmy up to P3.
So, found some speed there. Did find some speed.
Only 600ths off, too. That's a good lap.
Now, I'm watching this man. Creech is bad fast here.
Is it me or Elvis and Smith tied for the pole right now?
So that's something that sucks with SDK. There's a decimal point out there that we're not seeing, right? And it automatically says they're tied when they're probably off by a few hundredths. If you was in iRacing, it would probably tell you exactly. But it don't break it down to us like that. But Creech went P6. Let's see, did he get better here? He matched his lap time. He put up 2 16.83s. Wow.
Hey, consistency is key too.
Right. Absolutely. As look what this man's doing. He's still out there turning laps here. And what he's doing here, folks, his qualifying effort, yes, it was done with 2 laps, but now he's gonna pull it in and make me look like a liar. But he was actually just turning laps, just getting a little bit of extra practice out there. But before we even get to the grid, Wellman, I know I'm cutting you off here, brother. But before we even get to the grid or anything, I'm gonna do something unprecedented. Who's your pick?
You know, as this ties in what I was just about to say, is I'm going to pick Brian Zimmerman tonight. He's the only guy out there that ran a lot of laps during his runs. He ran 2 big long runs, and the first one was 42 laps, and the second one was 49 laps. And no one else has put more than 20, 30 laps together. So he's going to be the only one going into this knowing what his tires are going to do towards the end of the race.
You are exactly right. As I was reading a message from Zimmerman, he hasn't had to race by himself in a long time. He said, you can pull me up whenever. I'm lonely down in this chat. So we'll talk to him a few different times tonight. He probably is lonely. But Kyle, for the first time ever, let's get that grid rocking and rolling. So we'll see if we can get it pulled up on my end here. Sorry for the cricket line racing. Again, Elvis, look for an hour. I'm going to say it every time you see it. But look at that provisional pole. Look, it was almost half a tenth was the difference between them, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
about less than a tenth.
Yep. So that shows right there how quick they are. All right. Anyways, Brandon Elvis put it on the pole with a 16.688 and the number 54 machine. Starting to his outside, another bad company brother. It's Chris Smith in the car in truck number 80. And then starting P3, it's that Ford F-150 of Brian Zimmerman, Brian Voss. So the Battle of the Bryans on road number 2 with Todd Lamphere starting inside road number 3.
Yeah, and Todd Lamphere's outside. We got Dalton Creech from Georgia, Roll Tide. And
That's
seventh,
Alabama. That's Alabama. I can't believe you did that. Okay, keep going.
I'm saying Roll Tide because I'm an Alabama fan. They got to beat Georgia this year.
Oh, I got you. Okay,
But-
keep going.
But in seventh, we got Mark Stewart. Eighth is starting Chris Sawyer. And ninth, Anthony Rennick. And then Rob Hattenbach rounds out the top 10.
He was quick in practice, so he may have had a little bit of trouble in qualifying as well. As in 11th, we have Brandon Fillmore in the 5 machine. First guy that elected to go out. He's going to be starting P11 right outside the top 10. And then 12th, we have Mitchell Muma. 13th, Daniel Sweat. So we have some championship contenders starting 13th and 14th between Daniel Sweat, Justin Coleman. So those are somebody to keep an eye on. Zach Murphy is 15th, Ronald Judge 16th, and Logan Meyer representing the entire region of Mid-South in the number 15. Going to be playing shotgun to the field. So your pick was Brian Zimmerman. My pick, it's going to be, I hate to do it, but I got to. I don't want to give him the curse, but I got to. And he looks like he's easy to be cursed right now because he's far in the back. I'm going Daniel Sweat in 07 machine. He was bad fast last night in the super lates. Ran into some unfortunate luck. One time somebody got in the wall in front of him. I hit him, got DQ'd, but that's how I know he had a little bit of bad luck. But yeah, I'm gonna rock and roll with the 07 car here tonight, or 07 truck here tonight.
You know, with him starting in the back, it might be a good choice. Track is down to 80 degrees right now, so there's a lot of grip, which means he could save a lot of tire while these leaders up here battle.
And let's be honest, yes, there's only 14, 16 trucks out here, but this track is tough. Like I mentioned earlier in the pre-race show, these trucks are on edge, meaning this could be a battle of attrition. Take care of your equipment, take care of your tires, like I mentioned every week, take care of your competitors, and you'll have a good race out here. But 125 laps, they go by a lot faster than what you think. It sounds like a lot of laps till you get in that truck, strap that helmet on, and you realize it's not that long of a race.
Yeah, not only is it a tough track, I've raced with these guys for a couple weeks. It's tough all the way through the field, so you're going to have to earn every spot you get.
Every one of them is that beautiful Chevy Silverado that's almost identical to mine, except the wrap pulls on the pit road. I'm a little biased to it as green is out in the air. Look at the front too. They get a great launch. Chris Smith though got the better launch. Is this a product of what we saw at Nashville, except deja vu, vice versa? Chris was on pole, took the lead down the backstretch. Now Chris is going to be on outside pole, take the lead on the backstretch. Wow, that's freaking weird. Oh,
we're
going
wrecking
around the
green
back. Oh no, it was Lamphere. Look at our ticker up. It's cautions out on the speedway. We saw that happen. Well, when you actually had a good eye, you caught it right there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of those instances I was talking about in practice where the brake bias is just too low and locked him up getting in there, or maybe he got some help on entry here.
Oh, just loses it sideways, walks out from underneath him entirely. Trying to get a onboard shot here. If SDK will work with me, thank you, appreciate it.
Great avoidance by Mark Stewart there to
I was gonna say
have heads up for that.
But look, gets in there. You can tell at this moment. Y'all seen the move. He knew he effed up, right? Well, at that moment, he knew we're not saving that truck. He does the heads up move here. He minimizes the damage. He does back it into the wall a little bit, but you hear he's on them brakes. He's trying to slow that truck down, minimize damage. Heads up driving by the number 26 car. I know he'll be back. Started 5th, I believe. Fell all the way back to 14. So that's a tough break for him, but I know he can bounce back from it.
Yeah, a wise man once told me that rear end damage in these trucks doesn't matter, so he got lucky on that one.
LOL. I know what you did there. I know what you did. I like it. I play ball with it. As Chris Smith, though, so I kind of got tongue twisted a while ago. Last week, Brandon Elvis started on the outside of Chris Smith. And going on the backstretch at Fairgrounds, first lap, Brandon Elvis took the lead away from Chris, who was the post hitter, right? Well, they just did that again, except roles reverse, right? Now, Brandon Elvis is on the outside. Can they go 3 for 3 with it? Can that outside line make it work? But this time, Chris knows when he's going to fire off, right? He don't have to wait for the green now. It's in his hands because he is the race leader. So that does give him a pretty big advantage on this restart.
Yeah, it was a mirror of last week. And I don't know if it's their teammates doing that on purpose or they're going to swap spots or what, but I think Brandon just wants to force Chris to use the stuff a little bit more while he's safe so he can pounce later and get good track position before they make pit stops.
You know, I brought that point up twice. Now that I'm actually truly thinking about it, I think it was Brandon Elvis and Justin Coleman. So I kind of butchered that one, but I can't remember. But whatever part of it, whoever it was, I know Elvis was involved and he took the lead, power move, and led a lot of laps after that and had very unfortunate luck on pit road. Got a penalty that's actually hurt him in the points because I think he was the truck to beat last week, right? And that's not a knock on my buddy Zimmy. Love the guy, obviously. I just think Elvis had pure speed, and that clean air was king. Now we're going to see what the clean air can do here for a guy like Chris Smith, or is Elvis going to try to make a power move here? As it looks like we may be going back single file. We are.
That's a good possibility. I was going to say, look out for the 2 cars on the outside because last start they both gained a spot, but they're going to go single file here as we go green.
So they do the same rule. You don't do a lap, we're going to put you back single file. Look at the 55 of Brian Voss. So folks, Wellman's kind of new in this series. I am too. So we don't know numbers really easy. When we look at a truck, we may not know instantly. So I apologize for that. But Voss was making a heads-up move on the 54 car. Had to check up a little bit. That's allowed him to fall right into the clinches of Mr. USA Firearms. So
Zimmy's losing it. Break it. Oh, is he going to save it? Oh,
we talked about it. You talked about it. You've mentioned. No, Zimmy.
Oh, no.
No.
Still no caution on the track.
Oh, no caution. Wow.
There it is.
Let's go back and see what happened on the replay here. Brake bias. I don't think Creech got into him. See if we can
I think just when you have the brake bias cranked so low on a cool track, the front wheels like to hop a little bit. Or that they lock up too much and the rears hop and it just loops it. And that's exactly what just happened.
All that weight just shifts. And right there, Zimmy's trying to get turned around. He's not trying to hit him. But it's still, it sucks when it happens, right? You definitely don't like it. And Wiseman told you, rear end damage don't hurt. We're going to find out because, Zimmerman don't have a clip.
Yeah, I know Zimmy probably feels really bad for that coming back up on the track.
We're about to find out how bad he feels.
But racing with Zimmy for the past few months, he'll learn. He'll get over it and keep going.
As we're gonna leave him alone while he goes on pit road, so I don't miss his box.
We're good.
Well, Zimmy, I gotta talk about the elephant in the room. You just tried to get turned around, right? No caution on the speedway, by the way. You're just trying to get turned around on there, right? You did.
Yeah, I thought I was waiting on the field to pass. I thought they had all come by. And unfortunately, I backed right up into him. So my apologies on that. I told him sorry, but that really sucks. I've got 2.5 minutes worth of repairs, and
I'm sorry to laugh, but you know me. You just know how I am.
Oh, yeah, that.
Well, it don't happen to me. If I'm not involved, it's funny to me, but that sucks. I think it was Lance Fair that got you. He was having he was fast in qualifying, right? Had a good lap. Made a mistake, but stuff happens. But
I hate it. I thought he was by, and I was gonna still stay low, but he was right on that line and pulled right out in front of him. So I hate that. I was trying to just, when I started to spin, I just wanted to keep it low just to stay out of everybody's way.
Talk to me about that. Is that brake bias? That's what we think. It's just running a little bit too low brake bias, trying to get the truck to rotate.
Just cold tires, and coming in, and they checked up a little bit more in front of me than I thought, and I had to really stab the brakes. And when I did, it just came around on me. Instead of trying to save it and put it back up in traffic, I just tried to go low and get off the track. And then if I didn't pull up in front of a Lamper and tear him up for the night. So, yeah, not a good start tonight for the 28 car.
Well, Damien, we'll get you back down to the race. I know it's boring down there, brother. If I thought you could listen to us the whole time, I would just leave you in here with us. But I know it's got to be boring down there. I'm sorry for that. I hate that. But
you can keep me up here.
Well, you can stay in here. I don't care. But so I'm gonna throw it to you now every now and then whenever I see something happening.
Yeah, no worries. If somebody talks to me on track, though, you'll hear me key up and say something back. I don't want to mess up the broadcast.
That's fine. If it gets to be too bad, I'll move you out.
Sounds good.
Okay. Good news, Zimmy, is your team is able to at least tape up that rear deck lid back on, so you might have a little bit more speed in there.
We'll see. I've got a fast repair. I'm trying to hold on to it. We'll see. I don't feel too bad, so we'll see how we do here.
Alrighty, going to re-rack them, restack them, and try it again. As the field was not really caught up there. They're still trying to get sorted in the back. Chris Smith don't care about that, though, because he is gone on the restart. Elvis has to try to get down right here in front of the 55, and there comes the 36. The Tiger. The Tiger. He's coming. Dalton Creech.
Yeah, I was racing with that 55 last week, and about the same situation. He does not like to give it up, whether he's on the bottom or the high side. He'll make Dalton work for it, that's for sure.
He's somebody that worked and drove many laps in Myrtle Beach. I learned that he not only worked at the track, he worked for, I believe it was Richard Petty Driving Experience or whatever. Did many rides on there. So he's a veteran when it comes to racing, whether that's sim racing or real life racing. And he was pretty darn good, right, in real life racing. So I expect that to translate over here. But like we mentioned earlier, 125 laps, you don't really have a whole lot of time to spare. I mean, I know it seems like you do, but the laps, they click off fast. They're doing 16, 17-second laps here. There's cautions down the speedway. And oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm getting
That's
rid of him.
embarrassing, boys. Embarrassing, boys.
Let's go back and watch it. Let's go see what happened here.
I just lost it off 4. My bad, guys. That was all on me.
Getting a little loose right there. Yeah, just walks it.
I think the track's this truck's got some damage. I'm gonna have to get it in, just do a fast repair. The rear end felt like it was moving around on me.
It didn't look good there, Zimmy. I'm getting you out of here because I think it's bad luck, brother. I don't like the look. So I'll bring you back up here shortly. Good luck, brother. Don't do that anymore. Don't loop it anymore. You got that out of your system.
We're good, man.
Good luck.
And another thing is, when we started this race, the track was at 79 degrees and it's bumped up to 81. So it is getting a little warmer with them trucks out there. So they're going to be fighting handling a little bit.
Absolutely. As we're going to pull up Chris Smith here. Get a quick little word with our race leader, Mr. Chris Smith. You're live in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
So, Chris, if the race lead is going to be O'Brien Zimmerman being a weapon out here, holy cow.
Right. I got him in the radio chat going wild right now.
But 80 trucks looking bad fast, especially on these restarts. How you like a chance tonight here at Five Flags?
I don't know. I like this track, but it can get rough if you don't keep it together.
With the sun officially gone, there ain't no more sun. Lights are on at this beautiful facility in Pensacola. What's the track feeling like? Have you noticed some changes from now versus what you felt in practice and qualifying?
To me, it seemed like it got a little more slick, but I also turned my brake bias down, so I don't know if it's between that. I'm also not trying to drive it real hard right now.
Right. I mean, you got over 100 laps to go. Well, Chris, we'll get you back down to your race team. Let's talk a little bit of strategy. You got that 80 out front looking pretty, but you got a hard charging Brandon Elvis, Dalton Creech, and Brian Voss all right there chopping at the bits, brother. Good luck.
Thanks, sir.
As we get him back up to Bad Company Racing. Chris is a really good dude. I like that cat a lot. He never complains about anything. I've never heard the man complain, unlike this guy right here. Holy cow.
Chris is one heck of a racer too. I've raced beside him a lot, and he's one of those guys that's aggressive, but he does it cleanly. Unlike me, where I like door people, he'll put you right on the line, but he'll keep a piece of paper between you guys, and he won't ever touch you. But he's gonna make sure that you're fighting for it.
And it's going back green here. Are we seeing a teammate countdown here? Looks like Elvis gets a great launch. Creech is going to maybe let him in. He is not. Creech, he might. They're kind of like, he's like topsy-turvy with it. Don't know if he wants to get it, but he's there now. Elvis is just going to try to fight on the high side. As this camera angle sucks, iRacing. Thank you for that. Now Elvis is trying to get the momentum on the high side here. But you see Creech does have the preferred lane right now, Wellman. But Elvis is fighting back with that momentum. He just cannot get the advantage he needs right now.
I'm taking a look at Mark Stewart. Before that last caution, he was running that middle lane there, but he's about half lane higher than everybody, and he was getting good runs. And now he's on the bottom, and he's still getting really good runs. But is he wearing his stuff out to do it, or is he just found something that they haven't been able to figure out yet? Because he's right on the bumper of Creech. As
we go drone cam right here, riding with a rear shot onto the 8 of Mark Stewart. What a hell of a truck right there, by the way. Paint scheme of the night, probably. I mean, if it's not, it's one of the favorites. Justin Coleman right there to his outside does some phenomenal work. I'm sure he did that one if I had to guess. As we look back up towards the front here, top 3, top 4, they've got it sorted out. But right there, your first battle is here for P5, like you mentioned. Mark Stewart on the low side, Coleman on the outside. Got Anthony Rennick and Brandon Fillmore. Throw a blanket over them drivers.
Yeah, it's getting a little dicey back there as Mark Stewart gets loose and saves it.
Oh!
Incredible save. Oh, no, he's still looping.
Remember, folks, I know I'm a driver, and I preach this, and I promise you'll see me probably next week. I'll do the same thing. So don't think I'm throwing shots when I say this. But at some point, you got to say, Jesus, take the wheel. If you quit fighting it, you might be able to. He almost locked that truck down, woman. I think he knew that too, right? I think he knew he almost had it saved and maybe tried to drive out of it.
Yeah, I've been in a lot of these situations. You want to save it to keep going, and you got those cars behind you, so you don't want to get hit. But at the same time, you almost just kind of got to just let it spin out. That's about the safest thing you can do. But he minimized damage there. Only tapped the wall a little bit. Didn't get run over. So good heads-up driving by the guys behind him.
That's a story of the night right there. That's a key to victory. Working that brake bias and using it correctly, right? Because, yeah, Jimmy said cold tires, but I promise you, them running probably 46% brake bias is definitely a lot of the issue. A lot of it. I mean, because they got to get these trucks to rotate, right?
Yeah, just you gotta. So brake bias, basically, when you have it up, it puts more brake pressure towards the front, and it helps the front slow down a lot more. But it's a fine line between getting it to slow down and staying under control, or just basically the rear wheels coming up off the ground and hopping, and that's just going to send you around every time.
Right, you walk a razor's edge there.
And another thing with brake bias is you're constantly changing it all through the night because the track changes every second. So you just got to stay on it. And these guys, they either got buttons on their steering wheels where they can adjust it, or some of them they might have to wait until caution and pit stops to do it.
Let's see if we can dial up the Gold Chain Cowboy really quick. Probably gonna go 1 to green right here. We'll have a quick word with him. Mr. Justin Coleman, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
The Gold Chain Cowboy, currently the biggest mover of the race thus far in the 114, up 9 spots since you hit the grid. Talking through your night so far, what are you feeling?
It's feeling pretty good. The setup's really good. I like it. The top side feels really good. So I'm probably going to try to stay up there as much as I can. I don't know how well it's for my tires, but as far as speed goes, I like the middle and top of the track. So
looks like passing's hard here tonight, Justin. So if you found that high lane, that's going to be something good for the notebook later on. Good luck,
yes,
brother.
sir.
You are getting ready to go back green. The Gold Chain Cowboy right there, brother. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
As I kind of cut him off there, but I didn't want to mess him up on this restart. I hate doing that. As another teammate countdown right here, possibly. Let's see if Elvis can get down. I'm not sure Chris knows how to count 3 because it does not look like they've had a teammate countdown yet. Which is cool if not, because that's really cool for Voss too, right? Brian Voss, 55. Holy cow, he drove it off in there, right door to door with the 54. Advantage to Brandon Elvis though right here. I take that back. Ooh, at the line it was Elvis.
I think the countdowns are probably going to have to go away for a little bit. I think these other guys that aren't getting a countdown have kind of timed it out pretty good, and I think that's why Voss and Elvis are side by side right now, and Chris is going to be able to pull out to a little bit of a bigger lead.
I say it every week. Chris Smith. Let's see if we can go with that drone shot one more time as we fall. And Chris Smith loves to see this double file 2 rows back because they're obviously, naturally, they're slower when they get side by side like that. Chris is just turning basically easy laps right now. I'm sure. It's telling me Mark Stewart may have had a little bit of an issue.
Oh, Coleman's going
around. The broadcaster
Caution's
curse.
out.
It is so real. I'm not talking to anybody else the rest of the night. Not doing it.
I think he just barely tapped the inside wall of that left front. I think he's still good, but I think that was just too much throttle on exit, trying to get all he can.
Well, look, he looked loose, kind of right there on the entry, but it settles down. But, brother, we saw this in super late models on Monday night, last night. On the inside of somebody, I don't know if it's the air. I don't know if it's the racehorse mentality where we just get on the throttle too hard. I don't know the physics behind it. But being to the inside of somebody on that low line, trying to make that pass completed on exit, it's a chore here. It's hard to put the power down. And that's like the second or third time we saw that. tonight alone, right? I mean, that inside lane, it's the preferred lane, but when you get a guy to your outside like that, it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, if you watch the NASCAR Truck Series in real life, if you notice, especially at the bigger tracks, if you get someone to your outside, they like to pinch you down a little bit, and they take the air off the rear spoiler, and you just have no downforce on the rear end, and it just loops you around like that.
Right, you're exactly right. Now, I got a question here. Let me pull up this other ticker. It's going to say BCR qualifying, just to see what caution we're on here. The 5th caution of the night. Now, I remember Zimmerman, it was kind of a loose guess. I don't know if he was 100% spot on like he normally is, but he said between 70 and 75 laps of fuel. Naturally, these 5 cautions, they're going to allow your top 9 who haven't even seen pit lane tonight, it's going to allow them to go a little bit further than that, right? Are they going to be good?
Oh, someone's hitting the wall on caution there. Who was that?
I don't know, but now I'm intrigued.
Oh, it's Dalton Creech. Maybe
What is it?
had a wheel problem, maybe, or something broke in the left front, and just he went straight to the inside wall here.
Oh no, that's pretty significant damage too. By the way, that's normally we say short track damage don't hurt you. Man, he pancaked the right front or the left front. Excuse me, I'm a redneck. I know it. He pancaked the left front of that truck pretty hard, right in suspension components.
You say it affects it a lot at short tracks, but I think maybe he's been watching some mid 2000s Martinsville and learned something from Dale Jr. there.
Right. Dale Jr. didn't have a left front fender at all. It was cooling the brakes down, is what he's talked about.
Yep, it was a right front. They cut it off after an accident. He went on to win the race. As we go green here.
Green flag is out. So a new contender up in P2, Brian Voss, second in the points. He's currently second out on track. Chris Smith, though, is the man front and center as Brandon Ellis has his hands full with the 5 truck and the 36 truck. And, oh, don't count out Mitchell Movement in the 98 as well, as does not look like that damage is affecting Creech at all. He has worked himself up to P3. Brandon Elvis trying to make the pass over the 5 of Brandon Fillmore. Battle of the Brandons. Like Brandon's going to win that war. Which one? Brandon Elvis, of course, 54. Now the 98 to the inside. Holy cow. You get stuck on the outside here. One mistake, it can be a freight train.
I was going to say, where did Mitchell Muma come from? He started in the back, and he's up there fighting for top 5 right now.
Unscheduled pit stop for the Gold Chain Cowboy. I'm never interviewing nobody else for the rest of this night. I'm not doing it until the end of the race. Because obviously we gave him a curse. But look at Chris Smith. Shout out to this guy right here. Has led the first 44 laps. Started P2. Pretty sure was top of the board by the time practice concluded. So he's shown he's bad fast all night. But now it's time to manage it. Let's jump on board with him, Kyle. And maybe you can talk the viewers through what he's feeling here around this half mile track of 5 flags. It's never mind. Caution's out.
Oh, caution out.
The 5 truck. We saw him battling on the outside lane just not even 3 laps ago.
Where he's sitting at, I'm assuming it's another case of getting loose off of 4, too much throttle.
Was running P5 at the time. I mean, you got it. Let's jump on board with him just to make sure. Almost like I thought initially he was going to push up to the outside wall when I was watching it. Never even got full throttle. I don't know if y'all can really hear that because I got it turned down a little bit at home. He never actually got full throttle there. That shows just how loose these trucks are. And I tell you what, this man here, he hit the nail on the head about it, Brandon Elvis. He said, we're taking these trucks that race at 1.5 miles, heck, Daytona, Talladega, and we're bringing them with 5 flags. We're bringing them to tracks like Myrtle Beach. And he said outright, they should not be here, right? There's a reason they left these tracks. Money, all that, yes, but these trucks, they got too big for these tracks, I believe. I truly feel like that. And I hate that, right? Because I love short track racing. But Brandon Elvis, I think, hit the nail on the head. These trucks are not meant for a track like this anymore. So add that to the mix, right? It's tough out here. It's tough.
Yeah, you say they're not meant for the short tracks anymore, but they went to IRP last year, and that was probably the best race of the season. I really hope they start bringing in tracks like Stafford or South Boston. I think the Truck Series could bring in a lot of money for these struggling tracks, and they'll put on one heck of a show.
I think you take the Truck Series to 5 flags, I think it sells out the first 5-6 years, right? Then of course it's going to wear off, as does everything. But it's going to be one heck of a show, and it is going to be a huge boost to a track like a 5 Flags of Stafford. That IRP race was insane, by the way. That was great. I think our own BAM Racing Videos, Metler, was there. But we have some interesting chaos. Chris Smith went down, had a 14-second stop. It's a great time to get the hiccups, huh? 14-second stop. He took 2 tires. He went from 1st to 12th. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I counted him out last week. I doubted him last week, and I hate to doubt him again. I don't know if that call works, but I may look like a dummy when this is all over with, right? I'm sure I will. But he's going to be starting P12 here. Lights are off on the... No, they're still on the pace truck.
I think another thing, too, is he's seen that last caution, Brian Zimmerman come in and pit. And all these boys know that Zimmerman is the man to beat on fuel strategy here. So as soon as you see him pit, you know he's taking fuel. So you got to come down, too, because he's going to be able to make it the rest of the way.
And I promise you, Kyle is telling the truth here, at least in Crooked Line. If people see, if Zimmy's running 1st, 2nd, 3rd, something like that, and you see him pit, you know you better take your hind end down pit road because he's pitting for a reason, right? He's really, really smart with the calls.
Yeah, and it got him up to 8th. He's already up in 8th, and
hey, these top 7 have not pitted yet, Kyle, either. They'll have to go down for service at some point. As new race leader out front, Brian Voss here got a great launch. Dalton Creech looked like he may have spun the tires a little bit right there. Almost allowed Brandon. Whoa, Brandon knows how to check up right there. I had to say, whoa, pony. Almost got in the back at 36.
yeah, Brandon Elvis did not get a good start there. I don't know if he missed the countdown or what, but
I don't think there is a countdown going. That's what I'm saying. I don't think there is a count. Oh, no. Chris Smith,
man.
Unscheduled
penalty,
pit stop.
maybe?
Absolutely.
Maybe a penalty, speeding in pit road, maybe?
Maybe. Absolutely. Same thing it probably got the Go Chain Cowboy.
Or what it could have been, too, is he pitted from the front, so maybe with those 2 tires, maybe he exited a closed pit because the field wasn't around yet.
That's possible.
But he's going to go...
Stop and go.
Stop and go. That's entering a closed pit. So he's going to be at least 1 lap down here.
What a turn of events. We saw it happen to the man 54 as we kind of missed a battle here. I apologize for that. 54 to the inside of Creech. Creech, though, fighting hard on the outside lane. It's like a theme of the night. 36 has been on the high side, but he's been about the only one that can really, truly make it work. But right there, it looked like he kind of surrendered the spot over to Elvis. But that's allowed Brian Voss to get out to almost a full second lead over second place and 2nd and 3rd, and quite frankly, the rest of the field.
Yeah, it's a tough strategy right now because right now you don't really want to fight too hard because you want to save some tires because you're probably only going to come in for fuel. Just a splash of fuel should get you to the end.
Let me ask you this. Sorry to cut you off, but I don't want to lose this point. The ones that haven't pitted yet, we know they probably got to come down for a splash of fuel at some point, right? But we've had some that pit. Mark Stewart pit had a 5-second stop. Chris Starter pit had a 4-second stop. They're not changing tires in that, right? They're not taking tires within a 5-second stop. No chance.
No, not 5 seconds. Maybe 10.
Like I'm talking 2 tires, about between 8 to 10 seconds for 2 tires, I would think, right?
Yeah, nothing less than that.
Right. Now SDK may just be lying to me, but look at this man. Stretching it out, taking on the Gapplebees right now. Brian Voss, I'm telling you, this man, he sounded humble as can be. I just met him 2 weeks ago, but I can tell you I'm a fan of Brian Voss. I can tell by just his character and talking to him. That's a good dude. It's cool that his lineage and racing in down there in the Carolina region. I guess he was a pretty big name down there, and it's cool to be calling some of the races here that he's doing here in the All-Star Racing League.
Yeah, Brian there with him leading. And Daniel Sweat being further back in the field, that should put Brian up in the points lead right now as they run.
I think it would. It would.
He came in only 4 points out. So
it looks like they do strictly NASCAR style points too. They let iRacing handle it. There's not bonus points or nothing like that. I think you get what you get from the races here. So I think you're 100% correct here. Let's go to the field, something we haven't done yet. You got Mr. Brian Voss, Brandon Elvis, Dalton Creech. That's how they run in the top 3. We go back on here to 4th. I'll let you take it, Wellman, from here.
It looks like we got Mitchell Muma, Anthony Rennick, and Daniel Sweat rounding out the next 6.
P7.
That Mark Stewart. Yep, Mark Stewart.
I'll do this for you so you can see.
All right, and then we got 8th is Rob Hattenbach.
Look
He was
at that,
3rd fast.
man. That's a beard right there, son.
I tell you what, I'm not a tobacco person, but that silver Copenhagen machine's looking beautiful out there tonight, shining under the lights.
It is.
And then in 9th, we got our very own Cricket Line teammate, Brian Zimmerman. Probably on 2 tires, I'm assuming, with full tank of fuel. He's going to save that as much. And then in 10th is Brandon Fillmore in the 5 car, recovering after that spin earlier in the race.
Quick caveat, too. Zimmerman only had a 4-second stop. I think he took a fast spare last time he pit. I don't think he is on tires yet. All right, as we keep going.
All right, 11th is Chris Sawyer. He's back there. He's just one of them drivers that likes to come out here, have fun, run some laps, and learn from everybody. And he's doing a good job at it tonight.
I keep telling him, I talk to him often in messages. His first win in Cricket Line's going to come. It's coming pretty quick because he's always kind of there, right? And he's always in the mix. So I'm rooting for the 51 to get that monkey off his back, get that first one, because his teammates did earlier this season. Derek Stanley and Mitchell Muma, shout out to both of them, got them a race win, got their first CLR race win. The first one's a hard one to get, and they got it. And then in 12th, we have the older gentleman out here. I got to speak to him last week. He also seems like a really cool, genuine dude.
Oh, we got a caution on the track.
Mr. Ron Judd has caution on the speedway.
Never fails.
I said his name, and holy cow, look at the damage.
That's a hard hit, it looks like. My guess is overcorrection into the outside wall.
My guess is it may be a little bit of help, but nope. No help. Whoa.
Oh, it looks like right front broke there and he just went straight to the fence.
That wasn't netco between him and Hattenbach, surely to God, right?
No, it looks like just something broke in the right front and just went straight up there. Watch the in-car here.
Did he turn that car up there?
Oh, you know what that looks like? That looks like a wheel came unplugged. Yep.
I think you're exactly right. I think you're 100% right. That was a in-house, sitting at your rig, wheel malfunction right there.
Another Dale Jr. reference out there. Wheel coming off.
Yeah, grab that shaft. Wasn't he at Talladega when he did that?
Michigan, I believe.
Michigan. It was Michigan. Grab that shaft like a man. You know how many... There's not a whole lot of people that's going to think to do it. And he said in the interview, he said he was just dumb enough to not even think about it. Just do it. Just do it, right? But a lot of people are going to do that.
If you're not familiar with the wheel shafts in the NASCAR cars, is they're geared. So when he grabbed onto it, he wasn't just grabbing onto a nice loose smooth wheel shaft. It was geared, and he was just digging into his gloves while he's trying to turn a truck at 60 mile an hour under caution.
Right.
Now imagine Mitchell Muma trying to do that at 120 mile an hour going into turn one.
On the outside of somebody too.
Yeah, but it looks like he used his fast repair, got it fixed up. Wheel seems to be doing good. We'll see if it can hold on.
Getting close to the 50 lap to go mark here. I think just because we've seen some cautions tonight, which is very unlike this series, by the way. Brought in Brian Zimmerman. He brought the first 2 out. Mitchell Moon brought one out. Come on, CLR. You're letting me down out here. But
so while I was rambling on there, it looks like we had some pit stops, and we got a new leader out there. Is that Anthony Rennick and Justin Coleman? That'll be interesting. They haven't pit for fuel yet either.
No. This lineup is completely messed up. But it is saying Anthony Rennick is the leader, but Justin Coleman has scored a lap down. So
that's right. He had the penalty.
I don't know how we talked over that, but sorry. Everybody pit there. A lot of 4-tire stops. Anthony Rennick looks like a no-tire stop. Chris Sawyer, hard to tell. He had one of those 8-second stops, so that may be 2 tires. But everybody's basically 14, 15 seconds. They may have been filling the truck up with fuel, too. But I think we have a lot of 4 tires. A lot of fresh rubber out here now. It's go time, baby.
Yeah, as we go green here, I look to see Brandon Elvis pounce here. Anthony Rennick's not towards the front very often, and sure enough, Brandon Elvis gets a really good start.
Oh, I'm rooting for the 21 machine here. I'm hoping he gets clear of the 54s because he needs it. He needs it. But look at the 54. On the high side here, now this is exactly what Elvis needs right here. Needs those other 3-4 guys right here. Start battling and just start clicking off laps. They haven't really had a run yet where they're getting a rhythm. It's, Anthony Rennick got there hot. got in there hot,
Tell you-
but they did get it slowed down. That wasn't Rennick. No, that was Brian Voss. Excuse me.
Yeah, Brian was stuck behind Rennick there for a little bit, and he's trying to get ahead of Rennick, just trying to get around him. And what do you have here? And Daniel Sweat up to second place from the back.
Here comes that bad man. Pitted on lap 68 with the majority of the field. Oh, we got a truck going around to Heidenbach. That was the Copenhagen machine going
man.
around. I saw
Oh, they're
it.
still wrecking the 3
I
and 4.
heard that. We'll go back and I heard them wrecking. I don't know who it was, but I definitely heard it. So let's see what happened to Hattenbach here.
Man, I got so excited there. I spilled water on my keyboard.
You got excited out your octave changed a little bit.
Oh, it looks like a little net code to the right rear there.
No, that's not neck. They're going to hit.
Oh.
Quit it. Knock it off. Look, they hit right there. He almost saves it. He's I'm good here, but now at this moment, it might be net code, by the way. There could have been a little bit of net code there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of bumper contact there, but just enough to turn him around.
Right. And that shows these trucks, they are on the edge. Folks, let's throw it over to Southern Shores. I know y'all heard them a lot, but you got to hear them again. Got to help pay the bills right here. We'll be back momentarily.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Put the power of Southern Shores Realty to work for you. With over 30 professionals in sales and rental management, Southern Shores Realty and I will get the job done right. I'm Rick Thompson, your Outer Banks real estate expert.
Call 261-2000.
Put the power.
Alrighty, folks. Thank you, Mr. Rick Thompson and Southern Shores Realty for coming on board, sponsoring the channel. Helps us out with Track Talk, which comes to you live every Sunday night. Well, every Sunday night that's race night, which, hey, that's going to be for the next few weeks because we don't have another break for quite a while. The Blazing Pedals Racing League Xfinity Series on Sunday nights. Catch it here live on TSP with Sam and Terry calling action. I come at you a little bit earlier with a pre-race show, a more formal pre-race show called Track Talk. Got cool segments, got some reoccurring guests, got Mark Arthur, Taylor the Butcher Benjamin, or Mr. Stats as my co-host. We have a good time. Check us out, 5 p.m. Central every Sunday afternoon as we're going back green flag here. I'm done shilling. Let's call some action, re-rack them, restack them. Daniel Sweat to the outside, kind of holding back there, trying to get to where he can see the 54 out at his window there, but it kind of hurt him. You see, he's not able to pull up alongside the 54 machine. Here comes Voss. He's coming back. Oh, a little bit of contact right there.
Zimmy with a beautiful move to the inside there.
There was a little bit of contact. I don't know if that was Voss or Zimmy. I don't know what you're seeing either. I'm clueless here, but I'm hearing metal on metal, but they're still going straight. Look at these top two, duking it out for second place. But look, there's room between them guys. They are giving each other room. Hell, not a lot, right? But they're giving each other room. That's respect right there on these short tracks. You get out here and you race door to door like that, Wellman, as you know, there's not a better feeling.
Yeah, that's our top two in the point standing right there. So they're only separated by 4 points, and one spot's all it takes to take that lead back.
And they're probably friends, if I had to guess. Daniel Sweat, hell, he's friends with everybody, right? He's a friendly guy. They're probably friends. But right now, I'm telling you, we have that racehorse mentality. And I talked to Sweat personally last night. He said, man, I really want to win this championship. So he's all in, right? And he's racing his biggest competition right now, who's sitting second in the points and also second in the standings right now. But the 07 machine, he's fighting hard on the outside. Got that Evil Knievel machine. Oh, got in the wall a little bit. Did get a little bit of wall tap right there, Wellman. You saw that too, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. Zimmy just got up under Sweat there, and I think Sweat maybe thought he was a little bit. Oh, as the 5 car gives Sweat a little bump going into 1.
Did he get to him? Oh, got him a little bit.
Yeah.
Got him a little bit.
And caution's out on the speedway.
Oh my goodness gracious! I cursed us again. I go back to watch a replay and then they wreck. Yeah, I think it was Hottenbach again and Anthony Rennick. I hope not. I like his Hottenbach because I pronounce his name wrong probably every time, but he seemed like a really good dude too. So let's see what happened to the Copenhagen machine as you called it a while ago. Him and Anthony Rennick, I do believe. Kyle, talk and see what happens here.
Oh, looks like Anthony got loose on exit and thought he had it saved, but overcorrect just enough to get into the lane of Rob, and that just made him connect, and both went to the outside wall. Pretty hard hit by Rob there. Hopefully he's still got a fast repair.
I want to say, and I want you to forget that I said this after I say it, okay, Wellman? I don't want this to sit with you. I don't want it to stew with you. Hell of a job tonight, brother, for your first time in the booth. Hey, give Wellman a round of applause. I don't know if y'all can hear it or not, but give him a round of applause. Hell of a job to come in the booth for your first time, kid. You've impressed me tonight. Good job, brother.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, first time ever really broadcasting, but you know, I've watched a lot of NASCAR and a lot of dirt races, so I've got some pretty good experience with some of the veterans out there.
I can tell. I think you were a little. I'm speaking out of class here, out of turn, but I'm speaking for you. You didn't tell me this, but I think you may have been a little gunshot early, but man, oh man, you're hitting it and you're killing it now. So good job. Shout out to you. You may get them text messages that Chris gets on the day of, like, man, I got a broadcast All-Star Racing League night. You trying to come in? So just be ready.
I'll always be down. We got one more week left to here, and then these boys in a couple weeks, they start off their late model stock series too, so that'll be fun to get in on the action.
You know, it sucks so sadly our tour mod starts right there with them. I wish, Brandon, if you're hearing this, I wish there was a way we could work our times out some. I could go back maybe 30 minutes, but it's hard to go back any further than that just because of the people on the East Coast and hell myself, because I got to wake up at usually no later than 4:30.
Yeah, that's about the boat I'm in. I just recently moved to Ohio, and I got myself a job, and I've got to be up every day at about 3 o'clock now, so there's going to be nights where I sacrifice my sleep for racing because it's in the blood. You got to have your fix.
Well, it was tough when I first started doing it. Well, and I'll be honest, when I started going, because I can bring Emily in here right now, and she'd tell you, I think he's a cyborg. He sleeps like 4 hours. You know, and she's always telling me it's going to catch up to me when I get older. But hell, I'm 31. It ain't caught me yet, but I guess it will. But when I first did it, when I first started running cricket line racing and also having to wake up early, it was tough getting used to it, right? Because our races don't end till 10 o'clock my time. And when that's done, well, you still got another hour winding down, right? And before you know it, you're looking at about 3 hours sleep. It's crazy.
Yeah, as we're about to go green here, just real quick, I have the utmost respect for you because not only are you running a league that races every night of the week, you're also racing other people's leagues, you're running a broadcasting team, and you're a truck driver. Like, you're pulling more hours working constantly than anyone else out here. So I respect you for it. I'm
really not, though, because I don't have to do a whole lot during the day. I've got it made now. I'm very, 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 very blessed to be where I was at. And I'll go out on a limb and tell you it was handed to me, right? It was handed to me. I had to work. I worked for it, and I bust my ass every day for my company, right? But I was fortunate, and I know that. So I'd never lose sight of that either. But it gives me a lot of time to do this, right? I'm sitting at work. I may be on Discord or on Photoshop.
Oh! Zimmy making contact.
Oh, Zimmy.
Incredible save. Still wheeling that thing.
Was sitting there trying to drive out of it, though. We saw the makings of what could have been a disaster right there.
Man, in true Davey Allison fashion, he never stopped wheeling that thing. I bet he never even lifted off the gas.
And him and the 5, duking it out. 5's not giving a whole lot of room. Newsflash, he don't have to, though. We're going to see if he can cross over Brian Zimmerman here. He cannot, but he's showing the nose. He's showing he wants to go. I look for the 5-car, Brandon Fillmore, to start gaining a few more spots. But we got to go back up here to Daniel Sweat. He has second place in the points, sitting second in front of him. A little bit of real estate, a little bit of distance between him and the 07 here. As I believe Sweat told me last night, I'm pretty sure it was him. He said he's not a huge fan of this track, and we might be seeing that here, but still, walk away third place at a track that you're not a fan of, really? That's huge.
Yeah, like he was telling us in practice earlier, and right before we went green, he's not a fan of the track. He was one of the slowest cars in practice, but I think he's figured it out, and he's just being consistent. I think right now he just needs to hold on to third and let these guys battle, because right now Brandon Elvis is fourth in points, but winning here could jump him up to first, as he's only 7 points out of the lead.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's actually probably locked in right now. If Elvis wins this, he might escape here with the points lead. Riding on board with Brian Voss here now. 5 Flags, it's notorious for being a little dark on the backstretch, so you can't really see the tape on the steering wheel, which signals the steering wheel or the front wheels are straight, because it does get so dark in the corner. But you can see he's having to work that wheel. Not a whole lot, because he's working the pedal a whole lot. I don't think he ever hit full throttle right there. He may hit it for a split second, but he's really working that throttle right now.
Yeah, I've noticed too. He's working a throttle, not getting full throttle, but still in the exit of 4, he's still in a section of the track where he's got to turn right to keep it straight. So he's still getting some wheel spin there. Because Brandon Elvis is just looking nice and smooth, probably not even looking in the mirrors. He's just running his own race, letting them wear their tires out to catch him.
He looks like he's on a Sunday drive right here. He's experimenting, trying different lines, for Christ's sake. He just rode the middle of the track right there for the first time tonight when he was out solo like this. Hey, this 54 truck's on rails, boys and girls.
So as a driver, I think what that is he's figured his line out that's fast, so now he's going to throw everyone else off and run a different line to make them think that's the fast line.
Right.
And he's going to put that in his pocket.
We mentioned it in the keys to the race tonight, right? When it comes to, hold on, SDK just messed up, folks. Hold on. Go ahead, Wellman. I gotta take care of something. Sorry, folks. SDK is shutting down on me right now.
As we're right here on the nose of Brandon Elvis, just the cool thing about iRacing, if you haven't been on the service long or you've never heard of it and you're just watching for the first time, is they laser scan these tracks down to the millimeter. So every single little bump that's on the real track is going to be in the sim also. So you can see the car bouncing up and down, going into 1 and 2, and the technology we have in these simulations is just incredible. As we've got a battle for, looks like, 5th with Zimmy and the 5 car. Zimmy's running a little bit higher on entry than everyone else. I wonder if he's trying to get a good run on exit, trying to catch that 8 car, or
I think
maybe he's just pushing.
We're back now. I apologize for that, folks. That completely made me lose my train of thought. SDK just closed out completely. Luckily, the ticker and everything stayed up, didn't it?
Yeah, it's still up there.
Yeah, you couldn't even tell nothing on the stream, but yeah, it popped. It did a little ding in my ear, and it said SDK has crashed. I've never seen that before, so I do apologize for that. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I was explaining something, I know. But going back to the laser scan track, I mean, there's a reason why they call this a simulator, and people actually get mad. It's a joke, but people will get mad if they call it a game, right? Because this track or this sim, it's the most lifelike thing we have next to sitting in a real race car, right? But look at this. Elvis is out to almost a 2-second lead. These boys both pitted on lap 68. They both had 15-second pit stops. So that tells me they're both on 4 fresh tires. And it just like Elvis just has a little bit more pace as this run has developed.
Yeah, looks like top 3's just kind of separated there. Got Mark Stewart in the 97 and 4th. He's running really good tonight. Maybe he can save something and get up there to Daniel Sweat. And we got a caution on the field.
That's not what Elvis wanted to see.
No, that changes everything.
Oh, throw a monkey wrench in it, brother. Throw a monkey wrench in it. And
you gotta throw the 10-pound pipe wrench in it there.
Dodgeball style, like the movie Dodgeball.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Let's see if the 36 can dodge the 99. No, not 99.
Oh, he came up into him there. That's gonna have championship implications too, because I think he is.
No, Creech isn't. Creech isn't. He had to miss a few races for.
He's not.
He's a youth pastor, I believe. Really, really good dude. When I can get to talk to him, I think the world of Creech. He's actually a really good. He's messaged me a few times asking if I need like graphic stuff. So he's a really good dude. But yeah, just look, he got a little tight, pushed up into the 5 truck, and I mean, you just see they're on edge. As soon as contact is made.
I wish I was in pit road right now. I'd go out and grab that fender before the team can pick it up and fix it. Sell it on eBay.
I knew you were gonna be the guy. Most guys were like, I put it behind me, my setup. I knew it was going on eBay. I knew it. I was just praying you didn't say Craigslist, because I would have lost it if you would have said Craigslist. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna get shot in the process too.
Yeah, so gotta be. One day maybe Amazon when they lighten their restrictions a little bit, but eBay's the way to go.
It is. I use eBay. Shoot, 2 times a month for my diecast. Right? I mean, I use that's eBay and PayPal. That's why I still majority use PayPal, and everybody's like, oh, why don't you use Cash App? Well, eBay works perfect with PayPal, right? They own it, right? So I mean, it's just easier to do it.
Tell you what, my favorite thing to collect back in the day was there was a guy on eBay used to go to almost every race, and he'd cut up the pieces into little 4x2 squares, and he would sell a pack of 50 of them for $30. And he would have little labels telling like what car it is, who drove it, what track, what year. Fenders, bumpers, just anything he could get his hands on, he's cutting them.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I was really big into diecast growing up, the 124 scale, of course. Really big into those growing up. Kind of got out of it when me and Emily got together, but this next gen, they got me. They got me when they introduced next gen, because you start to realize, hey, I don't have that car with the number slid forward. I don't have that car with the number slid forward. And they get you. They get you quick.
I used to be big on the diecast, and then I don't know. There's a big uproar right now with the NASCAR Authentics and Lionel, and the quality's just not there.
It's
Action Sports is where it's at, and even there's a new one out there,
Racing America
or USA Sports or something like that. They're doing good quality.
Racing America is my go-to.
Yeah, I might have to look them up. Pace car's about to go off. 10 laps to go. It's going to be a shootout. Top three is in a points battle. This is going to get exciting.
Brandon Elvis though does get cleared there, so it's smooth sailing for the 54 out front. Can't say the same for the 55 or the 07. 07 kind of fell back quite a bit of ways from the 55 earlier in the run. Now he's door-to-door contact coming out of turn 4. Earlier in the race, I think trucks would have wrecked there, but they know they're up on the wheel. They can't do it now. We just saw it earlier. There was a little bit of contact on exit, and it ended up spinning the guy. Sweat, he probably gripped that real white-knuckled it. As my pick, he's looking strong, but I don't know if he's strong enough to get up there and continue.
Then he gets loose on exit. I tell you what, keep an eye on Mark Stewart. He's going to the outside. He's making that work early in the race. He's going to be looking for a top 3. He's hungry.
He's coming. He is coming indeed. He started P7 up to P4. He's been another guy along, I believe it was Creech earlier.
Sweat got loose
they're 3 wide. Zimmy's going.
Zimmy wrecking.
Save it.
He saves it.
Oh
no.
Man,
incredible.
No.
Loses spots, but incredible save.
I don't know what happened there. That looked ugly. I don't like it. Let's see what happened.
Looks like Justin Coleman got some cojones there and just shoved it 3 wide. He's looking for some points.
Yeah, okay. We got a great run off the corner. Then he may have to check up a little bit too with the way the situation he's in, right? He's up high like that, or in the middle like that, excuse me.
Yeah, you got to think too, Coleman is 3rd in points right now, so he's got to make aggressive moves like that, because right now he's losing spots and points by being this far back.
Just looked like maybe Zimmy did not get the 3 wide call here.
If you look, I think Zimmy went to brake and it shoved his right front a little bit. It kind of looked, while they're still in the straightaway, his nose went to the right.
We are under yellow flag too, by the way. Anthony Rennick, I think, went around in the next corner. Let's see what happened with the 21 machine here.
Oh, just got arrow loose on exit there. It looked like Creech right up on him.
You physically saw the truck almost lay over whenever he got thrown him.
That's air being taken off the rear spoiler I was talking about earlier. It's just, it doesn't take much to get the car in front of you or beside you really loose.
It sounds goofy, I know, when you hear us talk about it. When you feel it, you know, right? As soon as you feel it on Sam, you're like, oh, that's what the NASCAR drivers talk about. That's what Kyle Busch constantly whines about, right? I get it. I understand. It's there.
It's crazy how much air can affect cars. I mean, you go back to the mid 2000s when they were they had no downforce as it was, and you
They
take
were
the air off
skewed
from.
out. They were
Yeah.
driving down the straightaway crab walking almost, brother.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back and watch some videos of some wrecks in the mid 2000s, and you don't think air means something, go watch some of the videos where these cars get turned sideways, and the air picks up a 3,500-pound machine
Right.
and just flips it over like it's nothing. These trucks and cars can go upwards of 200 miles an hour, and at 200 miles an hour, air is everything. That's why you look at these teams doing every little thing they can to have as much
down
downforce.
to Dale Jr. said that down to the point where they had like 100 Budweiser stickers in one spot on the car, like
Yeah,
just
at Daytona.
100 decals because it made the air reroute around that somehow. I don't know how, way in depth for me, but I do know 3 laps ago here, Pensacola, Brandon Elvis out front. He's been the man, the myth, the legend all night. Huge heartbreak for the 80 trucker Chris Smith. Got the lead on the outside, made a power move early, took 4 tires or pitted off sequence and everybody else. Had to serve a penalty. Has battled back on the lead lap now, so that's a plus, but currently sitting P9. Going to see if Brandon Elvis if he can bring it home.
I wouldn't count out those guys in the back just yet. We're 3 to go. It's going to get wild. We got hungry guys like Mark Stewart there sitting in 3rd, and he's surrounded by point contenders here. He might go in there and trying to upset them. He
can spoil their party. He can absolutely spoil the party here. Absolutely.
Oh, he gets a good jump,
He gets
too.
a great launch, too. Going to be to the inside of Brian Voss. Voss may have trouble here. Going to have to try to get a run off on the exit. But look at the way the 8 car, he sent it in there. It's stuck.
Watch Coleman here to go 3 wide.
He's looking down there. It's
Caution on the track.
That's going to allow Mark Stewart now to start 2nd, Brian Voss to start 3rd, and I think them boys are still racing. Holy cow. Wow, that was intense. That's why we love the All-Star Racing League right here. That's why we love it. Let's see what happens on the caution. I believe we're watching the wrong guy there. I believe we're watching the 5 truck here, Wellman, so you can talk the fans through what you think happens here. See if we can tell here. Oh, that's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, he comes up a little bit, but the 51 of Chris Sawyer just he didn't quite go to the wall, and I think it's just kind of a racing thing. I don't think he realized he was that close, and they just hooked and got into the outside wall.
I'm going to argue it. I know I do it in the Adam meet. I don't do it to be that guy, but I feel like he don't have to go to the wall if he don't want to, and he's kind of running the same line the guy in front of him was running, the guy behind him was running. I don't know. That's tough. I'm glad I'm not racing Tro. I ain't got to play ball with that one.
Oh, 14 looked like he might have been mad right there too.
I saw that, but I can't go back to it because I don't know when it happened. Let's see. We'll try it right here. No, it ain't gonna work. I saw that though. I did. Look like
I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe some earlier contact in the race. Beautiful thing about these short tracks is all it takes is a little bump to get these drivers mad, and they will voice their frustrations. I should know. I've done it.
It doesn't
take
take
much.
He's been chat banned because he does it. And I'll tell you this, I say it all the time. I really tell my teammates, I don't know if I ever told Kyle this, but I tell them, I used to preach this all the time. On short tracks, if you make enemies, you will be around them every race at some point. I don't care if you're the slowest guy in the league, they're the fastest guy in the league. You make a rivalry with them, they're going to lap you eventually, right? Or if you make a rivalry with somebody you race with constantly, maybe for the wins, racing for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, get a rivalry started, what happens is you end up running both seasons, basically. You got a few DNFs in there because y'all wrecked equipment.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard Martin Truex talking earlier this week, but he was saying it. If you're going to make rivalries, wait till the end of the season. Don't do it early in the season. But right now they're doing it late in the season, and it's going to be an interesting race next week for the finale.
Right. Absolutely. I'm interested to see the points, how they shake out. And folks, we'll put a graphic up on our Facebook whenever Dalton Creech puts his graphic together. I'll copy it and paste it over there as long as All-Star don't care. That way you can have a little heads up on what the points are. As green white checker attempt, this is single file advantage 54. Also, though, advantage Mark Stewart. He's not having to battle anybody on his outside.
Early start there.
Yes, he did not make him wait that time. It's his prerogative. He don't have to.
Oh, Mark Stewart throws it in there, but I think that's going to kill his exit speed. Maybe
It
not.
does
He's
not.
sticking with him.
It
I
does
expect
not.
to see a bumper here soon.
Oh my goodness, will the Chrome Horn come from the 8 truck? They are teammates, I believe. Maybe loosely teammates, if that. He's looking down low in 54. He chopped off the entry so much that killed him on exit. Going to allow Voss to get to his inside. It's all Brandon Elvis going in turn 3 for the final time tonight. Out of turn number 4.
Voss needs that spot for points.
54
Coleman gets
win
into
it. As what a top 3. What a drive by Mr. Brandon Elvis there. Started on the pole. I could say he never looked back, but I'm gonna cuss here. I'm gonna say it. Damn it, boy, he had to hustle that truck, and he had to work for that one tonight. Shout out to Brandon Ellis and the entire 54 crew. Got him a very, very, very hard fought victory here tonight. As well, man, let's see if we can tell on that graphic, if you would, if you can pull it up for me. It's the first number next to the like the points. How many does Brandon Elvis have a series win yet this season, or is this his first one?
Brandon Elvis does have one, so this will make his second win. The only people in the top 5 on points that don't have wins are Brian Voss and Christopher Smith. Brian Voss is fast. He's looking for it tonight, but
he was absolutely 55 truck looked bad fast. As this winning moment, as always, is brought to you by none other than BAM Racing Videos. You like grassroots, real life short track racing, whether that's dirt or asphalt, check out BAM Racing Videos over on YouTube.com. We have you covered in the sim world. I promise you, he'll have you covered in the real life world as well when it comes to racing videos. He travels all around this freaking country. I guarantee he has a flight booked this Friday going somewhere. He books flights like I've never seen. He has videos with over 400,000 views on it. He's went viral a few times with a few of his videos. Check the man out. Hard work. Also hard work from Mr. Brandon Elvis here. 54 truck. Got him one. Well deserved, man. Hats off to the 54. Let's see if we can dial up our third place runner, Mr. Brian Voss, and I'll let you have the honors once again, Wilman.
All right. Mr. Brian Voss, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you feeling tonight after that hard-earned third place finish?
Of course, a lot of regret. Wish we could have been a little bit better. Just a lot of things didn't go our way. Lost some track position there on pit road. I guess that guy that stares at you when you make a pit stop didn't want to do any work. And from there, just kind of got mired back in traffic. Had to use up a little bit too much tire than what we wanted.
Yeah, sometimes we wish we'd get an extra man over the wall there, but unfortunately, rules are rules. But brought it home P3 tonight. Hard fought P3. I'm sure you wish you could have got around Mark Stewart there at the end to get a couple extra points. I know top 5 was real close, so any point matters. Anybody on that truck you can thank tonight?
No sponsors or anything. Just all the iRacing stuff. But I want to thank Dalton and Brandon and Rob for the All-Star Racing League for putting this deal on. Premier coming on board with the setups. Pretty sporty setup they had here for 5 flags. I thought it was pretty racy.
Real racy. I agree.
I thought it was really good.
Brian, if you would, because I think Wellman I'm going to pull him up in the booth with me next week to call the season finale. Let Wellman know your real life racing background. Cause I was explaining it some, but I know I probably butchered it. What have you done in the past?
Yeah, so I used to started racing late models for my granddad. He had an old car from the 80s. We started running in 2010 at Myrtle Beach and ran from there until the track closed down in 2020. And then from 2012 till 2020, I also worked at the Speedway for the NASCAR race experience, kind of giving ride-alongs and instructing your average Joe.
So, I mean, a lot of laps been turned around at Myrtle Beach, and it proved 2 weeks back. Well, Brian, that's awesome, brother. Love the truck out there tonight. You were looking like a contender. P3, good points night for the 55. Congratulations, buddy. We'll get you back down to your race team and let you celebrate your podium.
Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely, boss. As I'm not sure what channel he was in to begin with.
Starting to realize if your name starts with a B and you're racing this truck series, chances are you've been to Myrtle Beach in real life.
I need a Mark Stewart in the chat. Not seeing him anywhere yet. So, all right. Well, we'll just go ahead and jump right up to our race winner, Mr. Brandon Elvis. I don't know where Mark Stewart's at, so we're gonna come to you.
Yeah, Mark had to jet.
Oh well, hell, I
He
mean,
couldn't stick around.
I got you. Got that P2 though. So, Brandon, brother, you put it on pole from qualifying. That outside lane prevailed for Chris Smith, so you followed him for a while. What was you doing? Was you just kind of just pacing right then, just kind of saving a little bit of equipment when you were running P2 early on in the night?
Yeah, man. It's the first few laps of these things are kind of hard to get a hold of, and it was way too early to try to fight for the lead. You know, I was just gonna kind of settle in and ride and let the race come to me there.
It looked like, now Voss hit this, I want to hit it too, because it looked like Premier provided y'all a really sporty, racy type setup. Yes, you had to drive it, right? But I've said it every week since you've said it. These trucks are not really meant for these type of tracks anymore, right? They're too big for these tracks now. So it's hard to get the setup just right for everybody. But it looked sporty, looked racy tonight. Brandon, once you got some clean air on that nose, I mean, you said so. You only driver opened up over a 2-second lead. Talk me through how it felt though when that caution came and that lead was basically gone till the end of the race.
Man, I looked down and saw it was 5 to 7 tenths right there for a few laps, and then it jumped to like 1.6 and then it was 2 seconds.
We went through the field, came back, and he's not even a shot anymore. I was like, I don't know what the hell happened here, but he's gone.
I don't know. He must have slipped or something there. But I was like, oh man, now this thing will just go green. But I know I'm going to get caution here, so I'm not getting my hopes up too much.
I'll be honest, as a broadcaster, I'm supposed to be completely like unbiased, but I was secretly pulling for you because I know last week you had the truck. You had it. I mean, you had the truck. Costly penalty on pit road hurt you, but then to bounce back and win, it's going to be a hell of a points night for you, Brandon. Who we got to thank for the 54 truck, and then I want to talk points.
Yes, sir. You know, my dad, Barry Ellis Performance Fabrication, Bad Company Racing. These guys are always fun. Coleman Design keeps us all looking pretty fresh out here.
Absolutely.
That's an All-Star Racing, Dalton and Rob, and everybody puts us on, and you guys for broadcasting these last few races for us, man. We really appreciate it.
So I'm gonna announce this because I don't care to help other leagues out. Their Tuesday night league. It's gonna be broadcast by somebody else. It's gonna be a late model stock league. Sounds like big money. I'm sad I can't race it, but I do have a proposal to try to change that where we can race both. But it's gonna take some finagling off air, Brandon. I do want to try to work out a way where we can get both of us in because I believe both series deserve it. If there's a way, if people want to do a doubleheader that night, I wouldn't mind shortening my races if I had to make them not go as long. But we'll talk about that off air. Brandon, let's talk points here. Are you able to see the points yet?
Yes.
Did you escape 5 flags with the points lead?
By 1 point. Over Sweat.
Wellman caught it, so good call on that, Wellman. So give us the top 5 here.
It's me, Daniel Sweat in second, Brian Voss third, Justin Coleman fourth, and Chris Smith fifth. It's closed up to more of a 4-car battle now.
How far is Chris out in fifth? He had a rough night after he got. I think it looked like he had a stop and go penalty for sure.
He is 14 points out right now, but there's 5 points between the top 4. So,
holy cow! So the stress level is going to be turned up a little bit as going north Wilkesboro next week. How you like that track, Brandon?
I love it.
I mean, that's perfect for these trucks. I think of the trucks, man. I think of North Wilkesboro, honest to God. And we say the trucks are not made for small tracks. Hell, Cup race there. Cup race at a lot of these tracks, but that track is fantastic in the truck.
You know, I'm going to back up on what I said about that earlier, man. The Premier provided us a heck of a setup for tonight.
It looked racy as can be.
These trucks are roughly close to 1,000 pounds heavier than a super late model.
Right.
With roughly the same horsepower, and we were within, I'd say, half a second, 6 tenths of the supers last night. So I mean, things are rolling pretty good.
Your best lap tonight, I'm pretty sure we were doing like 16.5s last night, right? Race pace.
Mm-hmm.
You were 16.88. So I mean, that's
yeah. And we qualified at 60.
I gotta throw it out there. When I've always been sponsored by some setup shop. Now, fortunately, I'm with somebody else, but I've always said when it comes to setup shops, these setups are going to be loose. Why? You hear it all the time. Loose is fast. So you do have to drive them, no matter what setup shop you go with. Premier, though, has hit it out of the park, it looks like, from the eye test for these setups. Y'all were racing side by side for numerous laps here. And you know, with some setups here at 5 flags, it can turn into a one-group track when it shouldn't be. So y'all had one hell of a setup tonight. That is for certain.
Absolutely, man.
Well,
absolutely.
We're going to go ahead and wrap up our duties here, Brandon. Thank you for allowing us to come on here. Excited about that championship picture, the battle next week, North Wilkesboro, 115 laps. Congratulations on your win tonight. We'll get you out of here, let you celebrate, and hell yeah, brother. We'll talk to you maybe at North Wilkesboro.
Thanks, brother, man. Thanks for what you do. Appreciate
Absolutely, boss. As well, I'm sorry. Are you sleeping over there? You awake?
Oh no, I'm still awake. I'm just admiring all these fans shuffling out, and they just had one heck of a show out there tonight.
Well, on my screen, they're not moving. They're still there. They're like there's another feature coming or something here. So I don't know, but it ain't coming on TrueSimProductions. I can tell you that. It's almost
Knowing
back
Brandon, he's probably out there celebrating. He might be looking for an alligator to wrestle or something.
on. Probably. Good grief, out there in the creek somewhere.
Yep.
Alrighty, folks. Let's go through our top 10 finishers here tonight for the results page. A little bit smaller field, but that don't let that scare you because there was some hell of racing up there. Well, we mentioned earlier, 2 wide for many rows back for many laps tonight. I was very impressed by that. But let's go through this top 10 here. Brandon, Elvis, Mark Stewart, Brian Voss, Justin Coleman, Daniel Sweat. 4 of those 5 that I just mentioned are in the top 5 in the points. Take it from there, Wellman.
Yeah, and round out the top 10, we got Rob Hottenbach, Christopher Smith, Brian Zimmerman, Dalton Creech, and Brandon Fillmore.
And folks, I do want to apologize again to Mr. Rob. I know sometimes I say Hattenbach, Hottenbach. I apologize for that, right? Dumb redneck from Kentucky that just learned how to work a computer a little bit, right? But folks, I've had a blast tonight. I've had a blast every Tuesday night. Switching it up from the Tour Mod series, coming over here and calling this has been a blast for me. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. Do me a favor really quick. Let's see if we can get the graphic up on the screen. I hate to even be this guy, but if you're still here, subscribe so you never miss a single lap of the action. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. We hit 350 yesterday. We need 150 more, and then we can be a YouTube content creator partner, and that helps out a ton. If you would, thumbs up the video. Leave us a like. It don't take nothing out of you except a little bit of time. So we do appreciate you folks as always. Thank you for tuning in. Kyle Wellman, thank you for coming out here, jumping in the booth, got your feet wet. You did a hell of a job. So thank you for that, brother. Closing thoughts as we wrap it up.
I just want to thank you. It was fun to be here. I think we might have to renegotiate my contract a little bit. But closing thoughts, great race all throughout the field.
We got this man talking about contracts. We turn the music on and he starts to get a little high talking contracts. Goodness gracious, Kyle, get on the rocker. He's off his rocker. Folks, Kyle, for real, kudos to you, brother. Hell of a job tonight. Thank you. And thank you, Brandon Ellis. Thank you, All-Star Racing League. And thank you to the fans for sticking with us here tonight. It's been myself, Tanner Marr, Kyle Wellman, and the TrueSimProductions booth. We'll be back at it Sunday for track talk and then the BPO race. I'm not sure the track, just be there. But until then, folks, thank you, and as always, take care. Hit the like button, subscribe button. We'll see ya.